Little fanfare to open this game up, but it doesn't really need it. It's a nice, simple, but quite deep tactical war game. Obviously takes place at the Battle of Gettysburg. We're going to fight the battle today. Well, over the next 3 days, from both sides. And things may develop differently depending on our performance. So we got a picture here. I think this is of Armistead's charge during Pickett's charge on the 3rd day. Catastrophic result. But things may not turn out like this. Hopefully they will not turn out like this. Let's get started. First we choose our side. I'm going to start out as the Confederates, but I'm going to be uploading the Union at the same time. But I'm playing Confederates first because alphabetic, left to right. And here I'm not too sure what the different difficulties do. I'm not sure if it makes the AI any smarter. I don't think it does. It might change victory requirements. I'm not sure. I've checked the manual. I've checked online. It says nothing. I've always played on the second lowest difficulty. Seems most balanced. And most Sid Meier games are balanced for a difficulty slightly below the middle one. So let's go with that. And here we get to customize how the game goes. Historical, mix or randomized. We're going to keep it historical. Keep scenarios simple. As for the personality of the AI, you get to vary it to adapt to different situations. I prefer the AI to be aggressive and flexible. That means that it will take the initiative and it won't be too stupid about doing it. Unfortunately, no video because of Vista.
General Heath, sir, how's your command?
Sir, my men are in fine fighting spirits today. They lack only for shoes, sir. The march from Virginia has left many with leather worn through to the skin.
What of your foragers? Sent to requisition footwear from the shoe factory at Gettysburg this morning.
They report that a federal cavalry force now holds the town, and some say they heard the drums of infantry marching in column from the east.
Infantry. General Heath, the only force at Gettysburg is cavalry. Probably just a detachment of observation. I am just from General Lee, and the information he has from his scouts corroborates that the enemy are still at Middleburg and have not yet struck their tents.
Well then, sir, if there is no objection, I will take my division tomorrow and go to Gettysburg and get those shoes.
None in the world.
Sir, this no-good Yankee cavalry's been slowing our advance all morning. I want to shake out a couple of brigades and move it along a little.
Any infantry out there?
No, sir. Nothing but cavalry. Not a sight of infantry.
Well, then deploy your men and move on into town and get those shoes.
Good. I'll bring up some artillery to support. You must hold this position at the end of the battle. This is your best brigade. There'll be some more infantry coming up.
Okay, let's pause the game while we think. There's no music, apart from marching in column music. So I'm going to add a little something in the background, nothing too intrusive, just, you know, a bit of ambient period music to make things a little less, well, oddly quiet. Okay, so we have 4 Napoleons here. Napoleons are best at short range, so I'm going to bring them up to support the infantry attack. Now, you see down here, you've got little blocks, and these represent morale. This one has more because it's a crack brigade, crack regiment. This is only trained, while this one over here is veteran. So there's 4 of those. And as those go down, probability of retreating goes up, and if they all deplete, then the regiment runs off and has to rally, which takes forever. Now, I'll explain a bit more about morale as we go on, but for now we're going to just draw up a battle line, and I'm going to have the 14th Tennessee get into column and attempt a flanking march. The 5th Alabama are quite vulnerable because they only have 3 guys worth of infantry, 135 troops in fact, as opposed to the much bigger regiments. So we have some Federals here. And we're going to come around this side and pour flanking fire into this group over here. As soon as these guys get in line, we will too. Because getting fired on in column, it means that we lose a considerable amount of morale. Right. Archer, stay out of fire, otherwise you could get shot. That can happen. It's rare, but it does. And we're going to focus all our firepower on this group. Now we're approaching. That's gone white. That means no one owns it. Okay. Successfully pouring fire into this group. In fact, we can hurry things along if we want to in a second. How are you guys doing? Okay. This is morale bonus from flanking, from supported flanks. Morale bonus from having an officer nearby. And so on. Goes red with blood as it's lost. Now I think here would be a good time to charge. You can only do that when an officer's nearby. And you should always do it en masse. Because otherwise it's disastrous if it doesn't work. Okay. That's enough charging from you guys. And this means we can force our men through this gap. And... oh dear. They took a bit too much damage in the charge. No matter, we can still force this gap. Especially since these guys have run off. You're doing okay. Let's bring the Napoleons up to the ridge. Yep, away they go. And we can claim this hill for the Army of North Virginia. Flanking fire. Flanking fire from over here. Captured. But no need to worry. They can't do too much damage. Especially once we get some artillery in for some real fire support. Archer, come over here. And you guys go into reserve. You're too beaten up to actually fight effectively. But you can act as a morale booster. Okay, we have Brockenborough's brigade. He's going to be vital in securing this against further Federal advances. Okay, push forward a bit into the wheat field. Okay, can you fire anything? Not really. You should come onto the crest of the ridge to assist. You meanwhile should push into the woods. So should you.
Reporting, General.
New enemy off at Mrs. Thompson. This is the Union attempt to retake the hill in a second. Okay, that's dangerous, having them there. Should really push in now. At the double quick. That drains some morale, but it means they get into position quicker. But Brockenbrough's brigade is coming up, so I think it's fair to say these guys are not going to make the progress they intended to. Okay, we have to pull these guys back because they're actually getting involved in a fight we don't want them involved in. That's bad positioning on my part. We can bring them in a bit later. Yep, let's pour in more men. Bring some Confederates in to the woods to stem the tide of the Federal advance. Okay. Push forward a little more. Ah, they can still contribute. This is kind of ideal range for Napoleons in terms of safety versus damage done. Okay, shift fire to these guys because we can break them. Away they go. and we can continue pushing towards McPherson's farm. We want to keep the fight away from the hill so they can't contest it. The positive, of course, of pushing forward even when you're only defending is it means the enemy has to capture more ground. And because there's a time limit, that can make the difference between victory and defeat in some scenarios. Okay, let's bring these guys forward into the woods. Archer, let's see you support them, because they could lose morale getting surprised by Union forces. Okay, get into column. We need to do a bit faster than that. Okay, how are you all holding up? Okay, no one's close to breaking. It seems like the Federals are just throwing themselves against us with little effect. I'm going to bring up the Napoleons to close range now. Slowly it's losing morale, but they shouldn't break before things... they shouldn't be... even if they break, the Federals won't be able to force this. Because they have to go through the woods and everything. We got men here, so Napoleon's defending the key point in a second. You can tell an enemy regiment's morale, and your own, in fact, by how droopy the flag is. You can see there that it's a bit droopy, whereas these guys over here have very droopy flags. And they're shifting fire. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Halt, 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 and unlimber. Because the T key, which you use to specifically target regiments, is right next to the R key, which is used to order retreats. And I'm quite clumsy. Okay, push forward. And around this side. Okay, Archer, boost morale here. 7th Tennessee, skirmish, and basically disrupt any attempts to make trouble on this side of the hill. No point trying to, say, rout these guys because they're in no way a threat to us at the moment. And we don't really gain points for routing. For killing, yeah, but for routing, no. Can we... Yes. You have to... When you see a regiment in that kind of state, you generally want to keep hammering them, because they'll rout rather than just retreat and spend ages recovering. 22nd Virginia can come forward. Okay, 13th Alabama are holding up okay. Let's bring the 40th Virginia closer. Away they go. They're routing now. So target those ones. And it looks like the Federals have lost, pretty much. Everyone is in retreat, or close to. Only this regiment and this one are really actively engaged in fighting. This one's outnumbered, and this one can't do anything. Okay, these ones are retreating. Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, they're constantly changing their minds. Maybe you should retreat that way, towards our lines. I don't like how the retreating works in this game at times. That's hardly the most outlandish thing that's happened. Let's turn up the speed slightly. Because we're in no real danger. Not at this moment, anyway. I'm not sure exactly what this guy is doing, because he doesn't have any regiments there.
Sir, 1/2 hour.
But let's bring you to the edge of the woods. That way, they're in cover and can engage. Okay, you can shoot those guys. And let's mask an advance onto the enemy artillery. Whoa, what the hell was that? I think that was a flanking fire from artillery on a column. Never too pretty. As long as we keep them masked, it won't really matter. These guys have dug in because they spent so long not under attack, and that gives them a bonus to frontal assaults against their position, in dealing with them at least. Okay, line over there. Okay, that's Brockenbrows. So come over here. We might need you to order a charge.
Sir, 15 minutes.
Okay, scenario is coming to a close. Hopefully we can rout these guys before it finishes, because artillery casualties are worth 3 times as much as infantry casualties. Okay, looks like they're retreating now. Because they stopped firing, that means they're limbering up. No big deal. And
Sir, 10 minutes.
skirmish this way. These guys must be close to breaking. There they go. And let's just press our advantages against these ones.
Sir, 5 minutes.
Don't think we'll rout them before the scenario's over, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, your men occasionally say little things like that.
Aim low, boys!
And here we get an assessment of the battle. Variant Heth probes. These are all historical variants, or default, where you're doing a speculative scenario. And here we killed 780 infantry, or wounded them at least, and took McPherson's Hill. So 1,280 points. Whereas the Union killed or wounded 521 Confederates, and we had slightly more men, and 6 artillerymen. So Union casualty score considerably lower, and no victory points to add to it. That means decisive victory. And we get an assessment. Most effective unit, I think that's kill ratio. Most effective brigade, same thing. And hardest fighting means basically how much morale and men damage it took, I think. And we can watch a replay to see how it went down, in case we missed things. And also to see when reinforcements come up and so on. So here, pretty textbook stuff, breaking a line. Our reinforcements arrive before they do, and they can't really press an advantage because they don't have one. And we gradually, flank and force them out of their remaining positions, thus ending their counterattack with chaos. Order of battle. And we can go on to the next scenario, which I would do, but I'm filming each scenario separately, recording it because Cam Studio, which I'm using, doesn't like long files.